Look at you, Ken. You're ahead of it. I like that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, hey, I get lucky every now and then.
I'm impressed. Okay. So we are now live, and this is People of the State of Michigan versus Charles Wait, wait a minute, Waits, right?
Correct.
Yeah, sorry if I said that wrong before. I couldn't read it accurately on the paper here. And Mr. Waits, normally I would ask you to confirm your address, but instead I'll just ask Mr. Marks if you would look at the Zoom invitation letter that you got. My court officer's email address is on it. Sometime after our hearing, would you just send him a verification of your client's current address?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
Okay, and Mr. Waits, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Waits, first of all, how far did you go in school?
I completed some college.
Okay, and do you work right now?
Yes, I do. I work at Aldi's warehouse in Weberville.
Okay, and you of course have the right to an attorney, and your attorney, Mr. Marks, is present. And Mr. Marks, this is a plea then to the charge?
It is, Your Honor.
Would you read that, please, Ms. Allen?
In the People of the State of Michigan versus Charles Waits, file 20-124-FH, State of Michigan, County of Ingham. In the name of the people of the State of Michigan, the prosecuting attorney for this county appears before the court and informs the court that on or about March 30th, 2018, at Miller Road and Aurelius Road, City of Lansing, Ingham County, the defendant did carry a dangerous weapon, to wit, a pistol, whether concealed or otherwise in a vehicle operated or occupied by said defendant, to wit, a Chrysler, contrary to Michigan law. This is a felony punishable by up to 5 years or $2,500, mandatory forfeiture of weapon or device, and was committed against the peace and dignity of the State of Michigan.
Mr. Waits, you're being charged here with what's known as carrying a pistol in an automobile. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Have you had enough time to talk about this charge with your attorney?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And do you understand the charge against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions at all about what we're doing today?
Nope. No, Your
And
Honor.
how do you want to plead?
I would like to plead guilty.
If your plea of guilty is accepted by this court, it means you won't have a trial of any kind, and you'll be giving up the rights that go along with a trial. I'm going to go through those now. That includes the right to a trial by jury, if you didn't want trial by jury, trial by judge, the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, the right to have the prosecutor prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to have the witnesses against you appear at the trial and to be able to cross-examine them, the right to have this court order any witnesses that you might have to appear at the trial, the right to remain silent at the trial and not to have your silence used against you, and alternatively, the right to testify at the trial if you wanted to. There's a couple of things you need to know about appeals as well. One is when you plead guilty, you can't appeal a lot of the issues that you could have appealed if you had a trial and got convicted. And then the other is that you don't get an automatic right to appeal when you plead guilty. Instead, you have to ask the higher court to hear your case and they have to agree. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you want to give up those rights by pleading guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Also, if I accept your plea, it means you can't come back later on and try to say that the plea was the result of some promise or threat that nobody told me about today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
It also means you cannot come back later on and try to say that it really wasn't your own choice to plead guilty today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there a plea agreement, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor, the defendant is going to be pleading guilty to the charge. The people consent to him receiving treatment under the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act in this case, based on his age. There's also a sentence agreement between the parties pursuant to People versus Killebrew that the defendant received no upfront jail.
And Mr. Marks, is that a full and complete statement?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Waits, is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you agree with it?
I do, Your Honor.
There's an agreement about your sentence, as you've heard, and that is that you would get no upfront jail. If for some reason I decided not to go along with that, I would tell you before I sentenced you, and I would give you a chance to take back this plea and start all over if you wanted to. Do you have all that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything else that has not been said here right now in order to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone used any threats?
No, Your Honor.
Is this your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you doing it because you believe you are in fact guilty of this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then tell me what you did on or about March 30, 2018.
I was carrying the weapon that was scheduled and that was registered to my name, and I just misdrew the law, so I in fact was guilty of what I was doing, but I was just misinformed about the law, and I ended
Okay.
up sorry.
That's okay. Was it a pistol, first of all?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you have it in your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Had you put it there?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you knew it was there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the police must have stopped you or something?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was that in the area of Miller Road and Aurelius Road in Lansing, Ingham County?
Correct.
All right. Has the court complied with MCR 6.302, Ms. Allen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Marks?
The court has, Your Honor.
Are you aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record, Ms. Allen?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Marks?
No, Your Honor.
The court finds the plea is understandingly and voluntarily made without undue influence, threats, or promises of leniency. It is an accurate plea. It's supported by the testimony. The plea is accepted. And Mr. Marks, how does a sentencing date of June 29th sound?
No problem with that date, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to say 2:30.
2:30.
And as I've been explaining to everyone, who knows where we'll be on
All right.
June 29th. If we're still doing this remotely and social distancing, then perhaps you would speak to your client between now and then about whether he would agree to be sentenced remotely, especially since he has a Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail. But he doesn't have to do that, and if he doesn't want to, then we'll bring him into the courtroom. But you've got plenty of time to figure that out, right?
Yes, Judge, we do. I understand.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Wait, Mr. Waits, then your bond is continued, and normally I would hand you a notice right now about your financial obligations. We'll mail that to you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Your Honor.
You're welcome. That'll conclude our hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.